strong, if not stronger than him. So it's pretty much his exploits, adventures, all the quirky and insane characters that they meet and fight against. And that's pretty much a quick summary of Baki. It's like full on action, you know, kind of the bros manga, the bros anime, they're testosterone heavy.
Very.
But pretty dope. It's a pretty dope show. I would like it. I mean, I do like it. I like it enough to read the manga. But in any case, yes. So Baki has an older brother named Jack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Pretty much, what to set up the context. Does an individual's perception of themselves influence the way they approach working out and training? So, so the thought occurred to me, right? I'm reading the manga. Pretty much the story on Baki's brother Jack is that when he was first introduced, he was like a weak, scrawny, bitch ass person. Best way to put it. It was like he couldn't fight, he could barely lift. He was really thin and bony, and that influenced him. He had the same dream as Baki. Actually, he wanted to be stronger than his pops. But instead of doing what Baki did and just going about it with working out and whatnot, he decided to go take steroids. Not just any steroids, super steroids. Because of course it's an anime, they gotta drag it out.
Emphasize on the steroids. They gotta.
Yeah, so he in the back.
He took elephant
so,
steroids and he
oh,
just.
yeah. So now man's mad muscular. He's going off, and pretty much what happened was, the latest chapter, we got a glimpse inside his mind state for the first time. Well, maybe not the first time, but one of the rare times. He was like, "Yo, this is what I want." Like all this power, all this admiration, all this respect, all this fear, all these emotions coming from other people. And then that made me think. It was like, is that something all of us do? As people who work out? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. This is definitely interesting. Like maybe I was looking at it a little too deeply, but it was definitely a topic I wanted to touch upon because it was like, maybe that does have an influence because I was comparing him to other characters. Let's take like Guy, for example. Guy was pretty much the military character of the show. He was trained in a lot of military arts, very stealthy type character. And I'm like, yo, between him and Jack, there's like a world worth of difference between how much they want to fight. I mean, everybody in Baki wants to fight, but like, to actively go out of your way to like try to prove that you're the strongest, and then I was trying to compare it to real life. I'm like, yo, do we do that? And it actually, we definitely do. We definitely do.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, people will, obviously be more confident in themselves and whatnot. That there's certain individuals who want to take it to the next level and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm so confident in my abilities. I want to prove it by beating up the next man. And it's a hard way to. It's hard to segue into that. Now I'm thinking about it. I should have wrote some more cohesive notes. But pretty much the meat and potatoes of it, what I wanted to like get a discussion on with y'all is like, do you feel like somebody's upbringing, you like the way they were not really, you can throw bullying in there, like if they were bullied or not. Does that affect the way they look at their body and what they want to do with that? Anybody want to take the floor?
You can say some people who were bullied. I was bullied when I was a kid. I was scrawny. I was really really skinny, scrawny, and it wasn't until like maybe like let's say the third or fourth grade I got bigger, and I became the bully. Like it was more of that. It was more of, hey, like you guys are not gonna really really bully me because I'm scrawny anymore. Like I'm more bigger than any of you guys anyway. I can just pick you up and slam you guys OD. But um now I don't really use it. Like now, no. Now it's like now when I look at it when I was a kid, like I hated that person because I used to be acting up like a lot. I had like a real bad like behavior problem. Really really
Can you
bad.
repeat the question? Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
It's
I
all
was
right. I was
listening, but I
like,
didn't capture.
if somebody's, it'll be a two-parter.
Okay.
Does an individual's perception of themselves affect the way they go about treating their body, working out? and also is their upbringing an influence and a part of that, such as if you were bullied or not? Does that have any effect on how you would want to train, work out, probably
Yeah,
introduce yourself to a combat sport?
yeah.
Yes, you say.
I would say I'd say so. I think the perception that we have once we attain a body or just have the body that we have kind of influences us on like whether we decide to do any type of like continuous training or even just change our personality.
Mhm.
I think we become, for the people that don't know how to harness that confidence, I think it turns into aggression. I think people that are a little bit more like conscious of their emotions can at least decide logically like why they're going to do it rather than them just I'm lashing out because I'm bigger and stronger than you. Like I know the surface level of it, but I
Yeah.
don't know, well, where does it come from? Am I doing it because this is just who I decide to be, like I would like to be this way, or is it more or less, well, I have an underlying reason for this. I'm insecure, or I was, like you said, the upbringing, I was bullied in high school, and so because they bullied me because of, let's say, so and so factors, now that I'm strong enough to return that, twofold, tenfold, whatever it be, I'm now going to take it out on you and anyone else that I see have similar traits to you, to the nemesis in my head, for those individuals. I think personally, like it just comes down to just temperament. How are you able to, like, control yourself and hold the beast inside? If you're easy to just explode, then I think that's a terrible, I think you shouldn't work out. If you're easy to explode, I think you should only work out if you've gained at least the first level of self-consciousness, being able to look at yourself and be like, I want to work out, and then pick a goal. You don't have to know yourself and the reason why you continue to do it, but the reason you want to do it is probably the most important thing that you should start with, instead of just being angry and then finding something to do and then that's it. So I think, that's pretty much my
That, that
my
that's
view on it.
that's kind of like
Just
that's kind of like scary too. Also, it's like being like that. Like what if you're working out and you're like, you know what? I don't want to work out naturally. I'm just gonna use steroids. And you already
Yeah,
have anger
yeah, like
problems. And you already have anger problems. Don't do that.
don't do
Don't
right.
that.
do
Yeah,
that.
that's wild.
That's like
Yeah,
that's like the scariest thing you can do to yourself. It's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use steroids, and it's just gonna and you just end up like just having wild road a lot of like roid rage and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like you just blow
I,
up just cause.
I definitely agree with you. And bouncing off of what Unique said, I actually seen this Instagram post. Like, not just any Instagram post. I'm usually following people that like write a lot of quotes, a lot of long form essay type things. Just to like peer into people's brains, see what they're like talking about. But pretty much, the guy posted a Baki picture, and he was pretty much like, it's essential that you work on your mind as well as your body.
Right.
Exactly as you're saying, it's not enough to just work on your body, because like if you still kept that aggressive trait and those negative traits, all you're doing is lashing out with a bigger body. you
Hmm.
know and definitely, the brain is a muscle too. A lot of people tend to forget that it can be worked out and flexed on, just
Yeah,
like an arm or a bicep. you know
yeah. You could definitely not try to just be like this angry person and just be like, you know what? Now since I'm bigger than everybody, I'm gonna just start punching everybody I just see. Like, you know what?
right.
Like having that type of attitude and stuff. Like that's different. Didn't like Baki's like brother? Didn't he like lose the Baki? He like lost badly and then he
Yeah.
got dumb big.
He got
He
choked
he
out,
he
and
he
then he
lost
threw
the
up all his
Baki.
steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
yeah,
He
Disgusting.
yeah, yeah,
came. He
You
went
know,
from
I
like
got
what,
lost
six
off
foot three?
yeah,
He
yeah,
went from like
yeah.
6'3" to 8 foot or
at
seven
eight
foot
foot.
nine or something. Like, no, 8 foot one, I think.
And he
And
like he
like
like
this dude
stretched
was
out
a
his whole body.
monster. He
Yeah,
Right.
was
He got massive.
huge compared to
yeah,
everyone else, especially his younger brother. Like
Yeah. Like you're
Baki's like what 5'3"? Like he's dumb
No.
small, but he's washing like everyone else.
who's bigger than him? Who's bigger than him and just choking him out?
Facts. Like he'll
That's a
choke them
fact.
out or snuff them, and he'll just sleep. OD. He'll be like, eh.
That's a little crazy though. I wouldn't want to be that. I wouldn't want to be that brolic just for no reason, and then you still lose, and then you're getting mad because you're like, now, oh, I lost to my little brother. He's like, yo, bro, I lost to my little brother. Now I gotta get bigger. You know what?
OD.
I gotta get
Right.
bigger now.
The steroids wasn't enough. I need more.
I need more. I need to get genetically. I need you to stretch my body out and put new
Stretch your
bones in my body.
bones.
Word,
Yo,
that's what
did you know that's a real thing?
Yeah.
That's what they
You
did
know that's a
too.
real thing, and they actually it like increases. I think like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, a couple inches.
2 to 3 inches. Like yeah, you get like 2 to 3 inches taller.
They stretch out your bones.
Yeah, I'm gonna save some money and get that surgery so I could be the tallest one in this group.
Well, that's not.
I'm feeling a little bit of self-conscious that I'm not the tallest.
I don't feel
You know what?
I don't
But I feel like I'm not the self-conscious. I feel self-conscious though.
I'm 5'11" and I don't feel any type
That
of
goes
way
into my whole. That goes into my whole mindset.
know-
It's like, bro, I could be taller than you, but there's somebody out there that's literally towering over me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So I guess as long as I think
Joshing
like
around.
think about it like this, bro. Like we're tall. Like you know what? I got you. In my everyday life, I walk around. A lot of people just want to look at me because I'm tall, right?
Yeah, I understand.
But then I'm like, yo, a lot of y'all watch basketball.
Yeah.
They're giants. out
They're
there.
giants, bro.
I'm like a regular person to them. You know, I'm not that tall. You know,
Facts.
so like that kind of helped me get over my consciousness about it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was working in White Plains and I was working at Toys R Us. One of the players who played for the Knicks was there, and he's standing, and he's 7 foot, and from a distance you can see that he's dumb tall. Like you can see, it's like he's a giant. Like it's like, yo, bro, it's like he's like dumb tall, and it's like scary. Like, yo, how do you go about your day normally that tall? Like I know you got to get you probably get like your bed custom made because no bed is that long for you.
Yeah, true.
OD. Yeah, I realize that. That's kind of sucky.
People think being tall is all funny games. There's a lot of hidden problems.
Look at like Shaq. Imagine like Shaq. Shaq can't get into normal cars, so he has to get his cars probably like custom.
Cars,
custom
shoes, custom. Size 23, they don't come around often, bro.
Yeah. You're not finding a lot of those sizes like that. You're not like 7. Who wants to walk around at 7'1"? You're gonna have a lot of knee problems eventually.
Wow.
Eventually, when you get older, them knees just gonna be
a lot of knees, a lot of hunchback that you gotta keep bending in to get to doors.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy as hell.
You'll be like
I
this.
agree. But that leads to my next thing with the Baki subject and whatnot. Let's see if we can get to the root. Maybe not even the root, but just have a dialogue on it.
Okay.
The male desire for competition.
The male desire for competition. I mean, it's not even just a male desire for competition. It's just
That's
but
it
boils.
We're gonna focus on between men. You know, the mono, the days old.
Right.
You know, obviously we know it was a survival thing. It's in our DNA as men and as humans. You know, survival of the fittest. We gotta procreate. The only way to do that, handle adversity.
Yeah.
But I'm talking the real, because like you have something I don't have, or because you look like something I don't.
So
not even just that.
So we're talking about male to male envy. Like I envy you so much that I'm gonna have to get in the competition. I'm gonna have to find whatever I need to find to be better than you, or at least acquire the same that you have. I guess you could say.
I would say that's a part, but also we can look at it in the general sense. Like let's say like compared. Obviously, we can only compare ourselves to women. Like compared to women, we have more of a hunger to like not even just achieve, but to put it in the other man's face.
Mm-hmm.
So like, look at my fucking accomplishment. I'm better than you. Or like for example, when we're playing League, just 24/7, y'all are trash. fucking
Young
scrub.
trash. Wow,
Fuck.
damn.
What a save. Like shit like that. Is like
I think that's like an ego thing too.
an ego thing.
It can feed into a ego.
Right. Like we were talking about the self-consciousness earlier.
Yeah.
The whole, I got to this point, I'm better than you. Like automatically you just have that confidence.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of false. It's not really false confidence because you have the feats to show it, but it's kind of like in the sense like, is the confidence really a part of me, or is it because I've attained something? And if I lose it, I no longer have that confidence. So I think, that competitive nature that we have, I think it starts out that way. Like that starts out, really surface level. I have it. I've acquired the trophy, the award. I've acquired as you get deeper into it, I think like it just starts to, become built into you. You start to build into it. I think, once you get into it, there's a problem though. There's like one issue that I know is when people start to attack your title, attack the thing that you're good at, it almost feels like they're attacking yourself, that you have to defend it with your entire life because it's so built into you. I think that's the issue that lies within that.
Okay.
And I personally don't know how to get over that. Because I feel like, I'm starting to get competitive in myself and, in my life, I really wasn't competitive. I never wanted to be competitive. I never seen the need of it, but that's probably because I never seen people, what's the word? I never seen it at the same time, see the physical reason for it. I never connected the two, and now I've connected the two, and I'm trying to get into that race. And I feel like this is a problem I'm gonna have to run into. I can't skip it. I'm gonna have to run into it. So what, from y'all, opinions, what do y'all think? What do y'all think, men can just avoid?
I definitely see eye to eye with you. I wouldn't necessarily say avoid it because honestly, I feel like it's healthy. Because matter of fact, the thing is, we have to differentiate between healthy and unhealthy competition.
Yeah.
Because I feel like healthy competition will allow both parties to grow as individuals. Like for example, when we were skating, we had like little subsections of groups. So they'd be like, I skate with him on some days when everybody else is gone, pretty much. And like we'll go back and forth with each other. They're trying to get tricks, work on the tricks, and improving. And it's like that. Not even that forced competition because we both put it upon ourselves, but it's like that focus on like, all right, you are my rival. Like not even just exceed you, but like, you know what? If it's going that way, it's going that way, but it's not serious. It's like it's gonna be the back and forth. Like if you get better than me, I can handle it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Whereas with like unhealthy competition, let's say that back and forth is happening, but the second you get ahead, your competitor is like, fuck this. Fuck that.
Or it'll be like undercutting you. Like they will be like kind of undercutting you. Like downplaying what you just did will be more like undercutting. Like
oh yeah.
Sore loser mentality. Like I'm gonna do everything I can to make this win terrible for you.
Like if our competition is like women, for example. Let's just say like we're like, oh, you know what, we're gonna go to the bar and we're gonna pull women. And I pull more women than you, and then you start going to those women, being like, "Yo, he slept with that girl over there," doing stuff doing stuff to undercut you a lot, like doing something along that line, which is a little crazy.
I don't know, like that whole that's just a problem. That healthy competition, negative competition. I think it's a positive thing, like which I agree with, but I don't know. I feel like society nowadays praises that the undercutting a lot more. Like people on a baseline, when they go on Twitter, when they do any competitions, that it's not like, yo, you won the fair one. Let's get back into it. Next year I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna win. Like it's no more of that. It's
throw it in your face. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw it in your face. Like you suck. Like I don't watch UFC, but my man's What's the best UFC fighter right now? I
Right,
forgot his name.
right. You
McGregor, something like that. I
well,
don't
It's a
know.
lot. You could go by weight class.
yeah,
We could
yeah.
talk.
Okay, all right. So I'm talking
It
about
used
the
to be like Conor.
Irishman.
It used
I'm
to be
talking
like
about the
Conor McGregor.
Irishman.
Yeah, you could be like
Yeah,
Conor McGregor used to
Conor
be
was
the
good.
best.
yeah, and as far as I've seen, he used to throw it in people's faces, like, "Yo, you fucking, suck. I'm gonna, wash
But
you,
but
all
but
that
that's
stuff."
but in that sense, how he's using it to sell a fight. He uses it to
Yeah, but
sell a fight.
at the same time, you have individuals that don't be saying much, and they still be fostering growth.
Yeah, yeah,
Like they
yeah.
still foster that fandom.
But
So it's kind of like,
but you being more
But
toxic.
I feel like that goes into the duality of competition and like the people that get into the competitive standpoint. But before I get into that, to answer your question, I don't think there is a way to like avoid it because it's
right.
such a primal need. It's like lust, like you want to fuck, you want to fight, you want to dominate, like it's just
Right.
so ingrained in your like process that like you would probably have to literally rip out a part of your brain to get you to not like feel that, you
Facts.
know.
You could be born without that kind of trait.
No,
You could just
no.
be you
Oh
could just
well,
be
no. I'm
I
sorry.
you
feel like
Continue.
I feel like it's more so fostered over a long period. Like to get into what you said about society, it's
Mhm.
like I would argue that society is actually really downplaying aggression and competition. Like especially between younger generations and boys, it's like yes,
Right.
you wouldn't want a boy to beat on a girl, but at the same time, yes, like they are boys, they're aggressive, they want to compete. We should have more active things for them to do to let it out and to like
Right.
have them get in touch with that instinct, because it's not going to go away. It's just like with other things, like if they try to bury it, it's going to be buried and then it's going to pop out at a later time, but in a more destructive tone
Yeah.
because they didn't have a chance to harness it. You know what I mean? For example,
when it comes to that, oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
no,
But
go
when
ahead,
it
bro.
comes to that, I just want to add something. Like when it comes to that, we have to stop giving the, participation trophy. You gotta stop giving participation
Right.
trophies because that fostering growth at a young age is important. Like you said, Gary, you can't have here you go because you at least achieved something. No, you lost. I'm sorry, it sucks, but if you want to get better, continue. And I think parents need to be like, look, listen, you did lose. Like you did lose, but you tried. And you can get better. You can be better than him. Get back in the race. Let's get back into it. But you have to tell them, do not give up. If it's something that you want, if it's something that you desire, if you want to be the best at this, then continue to be the best.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you participation trophies. I'm not gonna tell you, well, it's all right, it's a game. No, it's not a game. Life is like this. Life is competitive. I need you to be in it because if you win it, your life is infinitely more better than the person that thinks that participating is okay. Because I helped out the business. All right. No, I want to be the best in the business. Why?
Yeah.
Benefits, more money, higher positions, more vacation days because I can make the money to take vacation days.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely one of those things that you gotta like. But what I was gonna say was you could definitely never be around that. Let's just say none of the people in your life never brung up like competition and stuff like that. They can just have you just inside, just never being in that circle of like every time like all I hear is like, yo, yeah, I'm better than you in this, I'm better than you in that. There's kids that never care about competition. Like they
Right.
probably just go through life probably normal.
Like right, to get into the society thing. That's what I was also thinking about when I was watching Baki. Reading Baki. It was like, yo, it also ties into the whole celebrity thing I wanted to touch upon. But for right now, the competition, it's like we're no longer in medieval times where the competition is literally a fight for survival. However, that trait that was in our ancestors, within all humans from all time, the desire to live, to fight, to dominate, it's still within us, but obviously with a lot less circumstances to where we need to use it. So I feel like it comes out in other ways, i.e., video games.
Mm.
Like that's why people will get so aggressive and be like, yeah, I gotta win. I gotta beat your fucking ass. Like when we're playing FIFA or like a 2K, it's like, yo, bro, we're not just here to play. Like we're gonna fuck this team up, bro. You know what it is. I feel like that's us letting out that primal desire in a different way. You know, so it's like it's good. That's one type of outlet. You know, but obviously it's looked down upon. It's like, yeah, people are like, yeah, he's just a fucking gamer. He ain't really doing much. And it's like, to an extent, I do agree, because it's like, yeah, if you're just playing the games and whatnot, you're not doing anything else. You're only really channeling that aggression and that outlet into games, and it's like it can work. And honestly, that's really my counter argument for myself. Because it's like, look at pros now. We have pro athletes, esports athletes making fucking thousands of dollars. Playing high stakes tournaments, doing it and whatnot. And it was like that. It kind of would have been nice to have that when we were kids, but it's nice to see it now still.
Yeah, I wish that was around when we was younger.
For real, like it was budding, but like it definitely was not how it is now. Unless you were playing like Dota 2,
Yeah,
or things like that.
You're legends. You are legends of like probably like when your parents were growing up, like oh yeah, there's this dude who used to play like let's just say what's like an old school like Pac-Man, for example, like there was like a pro Pac-Man player that always went to this
Right,
one
the world's
arcade.
best Pac-Man player, right?
Like it was never it was never like how it is now, where like you can search up, there's like probably 50 esport people in the US probably going crazy playing different games, going crazy. Hundreds, really hundreds. I would say more than, but like, and that's like their job to go to get that profession. Like, so I can imagine like them like taking that like 100% serious, and like their competition was probably like, yo, I want to be the best, so I'm eat sleeping that game. Like, like there's no other game I'm playing, nothing else, and that's all I'm doing like every day throughout, learning everything around it.
Right,
So
the
like,
zoning.
it's like taking ownership of it, like something like that. Like, yeah, like this is where my competition lays at. Like a lot of fighting game, like I can imagine a lot of like fighting game players are more cocky. A lot of them are probably like.
I got a question. I had a question with regarding the competition, and this is something that I don't know if it's true or not, because they say it's a myth, but sometimes it's not. Do you think that the intoxication that we get from being competitive, because once you're competitive, once you know there's a tournament, you're in it. You're like, yo, I'm here to play the game. Like, it's over, nothing else but my competition, me being the best. Do you think that comes from individuals getting into the zone, getting into that zone where like your body is moving instinctually, you're starting to move, you're starting to do things, you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it, and everything seems to just be hitting at all cylinders? I'm passing the ball, I'm making the shots, I'm doing everything, I'm blocking, I'm in the face, defense is on point, just like I was practicing every single day, always on point, everything is at least 99.9999 continuing. Do you think that that's the intoxication that we get that causes us to want to be competitive, alongside the success?
I would say no. Specifically, the way I see the zone is a higher level of focus that you give yourself. Let's look at it here. This horizontal line, it represents your competition. This vertical line represents your focus. Right here is your let's say right here is how much of the zone you're able to activate and look into. Right. So pretty much they were like higher the amount of competition, but not so high that it's outside of your skill level, combined with you zoning in and focusing on your activity and wanting to play at equal, if not at a better level. Like let's take when we play Rocket League. Let's say like we're in a really sweaty rank game and nobody scored a goal in 3 minutes. You ever notice how, all right, we don't even notice that 3 minutes passed by. Everybody's just so locked in. Everybody's playing defense. Even on turnovers, we're back on offense, but the defenders are still there. And everybody's just so fixated on the game that, you lose track of time pretty much. I feel like that's what the zone is. And when you lock in, that is the euphoria that you speak of, because like you don't even focus on anything around you. You're just high.
Right. It's all about the win of the game. Like you're going everything and you're throwing all the chips in.
Exactly. And then also I use the vertical line off too. It's not the focus, it's the amount of challenge that you're getting from the other team. Because the more challenging the team, the more focused you'll be in on wanting to beat the team. But if they're a lower team than you, you're not going to be as focused. And if they're too high, you're going to be too focused on trying to like outplay them and outmatch them. That you're going to
be in the right.
Exactly. So it's kind of a middle down.
That I was going to ask you about that. Thank you for covering that.
That's like in anything, though. That's like with basketball teams. That's like with football teams.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes. OD.
You can play up to your competition, or you can play down to your competition. Sometimes even playing down to your competition is one of the riskiest things you can do, because your competition could be playing at a higher level than you, and you just upped it down. Even in the UFC, like even in UFC, even in boxing, especially like a guy like Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz, right? Andy Ruiz was a fat, sloppy Mexican boxer, right? You look at him body wise, you'll be like, oh, he doesn't look like he's a nice boxer. You'll probably think like, yo, how do you become a boxer? Like, look at him, he's like sloppy. And then you look at Anthony Joshua, who is like kind of like he's built like kind of like a boxer, more model like brolic, and he just loses to a guy who just is better than him boxing wise. He just got knocked out by a guy like that, right? Where it's just like you can. He was probably fighting down to his competition, because when he knocked him down, he probably thought, okay, since I knocked him down, I think I can win this match, because he's not going to recover.
I'm gonna play more back. I'm gonna play more relaxed.
I'm gonna play more defense.
Right.
I'm gonna play more defense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play more defense, and then once he got hit in the ear, and once you get hit in one of the worst things probably in a fight is getting hit in your ear, because sometimes you can get punch drunk like that. A lot of things start looking a lot of hazy, and he just got punched in his ear and never recovered after that.
Yep. And then it's a downhill situation. You don't want to get in that situation when you get punched drunk. I promise you, because it does not look good for the people that do get punched drunk. Yeah. But all right, so too high, you're gonna be too focused on them. Too low, you're going to start playing a little too relaxed, or you might not really care as much about the W.
Right.
So it's probably.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my assumption is, this is, correct me if I'm wrong. It has to be to the point where you don't know who will win. You don't know who's better. And I think, that's where the zone comes in. It's when you're so close to each other that extra inch, that extra, who can get deeper into the zone than each other, who has better skills than each other, improves it. And I kind of agree with that, because, I'm not very good at playing basketball when it comes to 5-on-5, but on 1-on-1 is great. But especially when someone is like just as good as you, like, to me, that's like the ultimate feeling. Like I feel like, who's gonna be the best? Who's gonna win? And
exactly. I would also put it aside to it if it's them being evenly matched, but also having both parties really give it 100%. Because that, exactly as you're saying, if we're playing down to the competition, we're playing on autopilot. That would be the way I would put it. It's like, I'm not really going to focus on what he's doing, because I know I can play past him. I'm going to probably hang back, let him touch the ball for a bit, come in, Whereas if, again, if we're on the opposite end of the spectrum, we're hyper critiquing ourselves. We're like, bro, I just missed this play, so that's about to lead into this. And they're like, you're too focused. Whereas, if you find that sweet spot, it's like y'all are focusing, but like at the same time, you're kind of not. You're just feeling the game. Like you're already you're locked in pretty much. That's where the term comes from. and it's like you're also playing off, all your muscles coming together and whatnot, your muscle memory, as well as the thoughts, but you're processing it so fast that you're just, you're not really paying attention to anything else unless it's on the game, or whatever sport that you're doing.
You would just never you would just never get into the point of like always being in cruise control. Or cruise control would be like
Yeah,
because playing on cruise control you can be more relaxed, just like Gary said, a lot more relaxed, a lot more. Hey, you know what? Yeah, we're still gonna win this game, but I don't really need to play as much defense. I can let them do what they want to do rather than like, and even in like 1-on-1s and stuff like that. Oh, even playing basketball, it's a lot. Like you can say 1-on-1s just tell me that you're better than me skill wise, but when we get in this team setting, you can't really do as much. Of like you don't work well with a team. You work well by yourself,
right?
Which is like that's not really, not saying that's not great. That is, because in basketball you could just dominate the ball. You could just be 100%. You know what? I'm just gonna dominate and single wise. But in like a game like football, you're gonna need all guys on the field have to be able to work together.
Yeah, to be in sync. Yeah, I gotta get you.
Soccer's kind of like that too. You can't really do stuff like that. Basketball, you can kind of get away with it because one guy can dominate the ball.
I don't know about that.
You can.
I don't know about that because we can look at an all-star team versus a team that has two all-star people. You can't compare an all-star team to two people that have
no
all-star material. The only thing that has to play is that if everyone's firing on all cylinders, you can't compare the two. There's
Michael Jordan who dominated the basketball very, 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 very much.
I agree.
Much. I don't think so. Luke. I don't think in soccer you could dominate. I don't think one person can dominate the field because you got.
Yeah, that was gonna be my example.
It's a lot harder because you got another 11 guys coming at you full speed, and it's hard kind of dominating by yourself. I mean,
and you also got to look at it like this. It's like with soccer. Let's take soccer, right? If everybody on the field is at that pro level, it's going to take a lot just to get over the opponent. And that's why it would be my easier example would be Rocket League. I watch pros play all the time. And it's like they're so evenly matched because they put the same if not similar amounts of time into it, right? So they would know what the other guy is about to do. Like, honestly, just off the approach. It's like, okay, you're about to go up that wall. I know what you can and can't do, roughly what you can do off that wall. So I'm going to go approach you right now instead of giving you the leeway to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like in regulation soccer, it's that with 11 people with that mindset. That's going to be
always two guys around you. Like it's always two guys around you. Like if you're definitely that much of a dominating of a player, like we could look at Messi and we could look at Ronaldo, for example, right? Where normally they will probably be able, if they're covered by one person, they're killing that one person. They're just gonna we're not.
Yeah, light him up, blaze past them.
Yeah, he's gonna blaze past them. He's gonna put the skill moves on him. He's gonna go crazy. But if our center backs, if we got two center backs on him, center wise, every time he gets the ball in the wing and he's bringing it to this side, we're not allowing you to even get in the box. Then it's like he's gonna have to rely on the other guys around him to score because he can't get to that. To that, for example, in basketball, we can look at. I'm looking at Giannis. Giannis is a guy who can get to the basket, by himself, literally, and he could dominate the ball. He can really dominate the ball. Really
example right there.
Like he can like if you watch highlights of Giannis, and you're gonna be like it's insane. He's 6'11". He's a tall 6'11" dude who's very, very very, very long. Like he's like stretching. Like he looks like
no pause. Whoa, wait a minute, no pause.
There was a pause. He's like literally like Mr. Fantastic if Mr. Fantastic played basketball. Like,
now you're going a little too far.
No, I know. I swear to you, tonight,
each of y'all like you got a little long arms.
Tonight, each of y'all watch who Giannis is. Watch who Giannis onto the
That's
Kupo.
like Foco, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
he
you.
is
Yeah,
literally
he is really tall, bro.
like
Like it's not even
he's
just he's
tall
tall.
and brolic now,
He got length, bro.
and he's taking two
Mm.
steps to the rim, and the 2 steps. Let's just say he's at the 3-point line, and he takes 2 steps. He's already in the paint. That's how long he's taking those steps. Like he's taking giant steps to get to the rim. Like he can dominate the ball. You can win with one guy being the domination. You can. Now the only thing is now in basketball it's a little bit. You can say it's a little bit more harder, but people don't really play as much defense as they were playing like back in the day, where it was kind of like
They're very
bully
offensive.
ball back in the day. So it's like you can get away with it there, but in other sports you can't really do that by like singular. Can't.
Yeah, I would say the higher the number of people, especially around the professional level, the harder it would be to get around them.
Yeah.
And then especially like considering you have to do it consistently, plus while keeping an eye on the clock. Like that's another reason I'm bringing into soccer. For you to 1v11 somebody for you to 1v11 a team for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's pretty high odds, especially considering
for
that
90 minutes, and then I'm not adding the possibility
of
of plus time.
Ball hogging, I'm like
it's plus time because in soccer, like all right, let's just say in soccer, all right, the first 2 halves is 45 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first and second half is 45, and then on top of that, we can add let's say we add another 5 minutes on top of that. That's dumb long. Like you just ran up and down this field for dumb long. Tired. You probably winded, and there's no timeouts. There's no breaks. There's no real breaks unless somebody gets hurt. We could take a little short break, get a little bit of water, and then run right back out. But it's not like that. Every game is like that. So like Rocket League, imagine every time somebody gets boomed, we got to stop play.
Yeah, true. Rocket League is a little street ballish.
Even
in that aspect.
Even in Rocket League, you can't really dominate with one person. You have to have a great unit around you. Like if it's 3v3, you gotta have a great unit.
You know what? I'm glad you say Rocket League. That's a perfect example of like it would be easier to explain than a soccer example. It's like with League, you can dominate the low skill players. It's like from bronze to maybe platinum high, maybe low diamond. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can play the 1v3, you can hold this ball, like you can position and outplay people and go around them and whatnot. But once you start breaking in the middle high diamond and the champions ranks, where everybody like already knows what they're doing and how to respond to whatever you're doing, it's gonna be harder. Especially like in Rocket League, it's like people know how to read the ball.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter where you hit it, they'll have an answer for it pretty much at the higher rank. So like now you have to really dictate where this ball is about to go to not only get over one smart defender, but 3 of them stacked. Yeah. And to consistently do it and find clever ways to get through them as well as score is tough. Very tough.
And we're not adding on the fact that all 3 defenders they're not gonna all triple commit on you. So
right.
So like one guy's gonna jump for the ball, the other guy's already in position from once that guy hits that ball, he's already in position to catch it. So he already knows where the ball's gonna go before anything else. So
that's a fact. Exactly. That's why people be getting a lot of pre-reads at the higher levels we go and whatnot. And then even on defense, it's like they know how to defend against a lot of things. Let's say, like for example, when we first learned how to air play, I learned how to get double touches and whatnot. It used to be nothing to catch a double touch. Now you have to really go out your way to set it up. You gotta. No, matter of fact, I'll go with the air dribble because that's better. It's like, once you first learn the air dribble, once you learn how to go.
All right, so somebody commented, right? Somebody said the guy on the bottom looks like the person on the top left. Explain this stream to me. so you're on the bottom.
We're long lost brothers.
Wait, who?
On my screen, Crownless is on the bottom, and in the top left is Unique. So they look like each other, like the before and after pictures. But nah, this is CTU. We're great. I've never heard
that was
a
funny.
good one.
Yo, I was
Glasses on.
so dead that I didn't
This
even
is-
register that.
This is
That's funny.
this is CTU and
CTU.
we're like
Welcome,
extremely
welcome.
we're all three good friends. We all play like different games together. We
Word.
we play
Like the
like
wide range of topics.
we live stream together and stuff like that. And this is like our like sit down and talk type of thing. We go do different topics. We talk about like world issues, anything that's going on kind of in the world. We talk about like real life things that we went through. Talk about a number of things along that line. And each of us are all different people of the world. Really, really
Yeah,
great.
sounds about right. You know.
So, but like
Go ahead, bro.
I don't know. What was the topic? Oh, so freaking like dominating like that is like crazy though. Like trying to be like the only one with the ball in your hand. Like imagine like 24. Imagine the whole 5 minutes of you just having the ball in your hand, and you're getting guarded by 3 people every time. You get through one person. Oh, the next. And then you're like, the next guy right here, yeah. He said, so he said the guy on the top right looks like who looks like a SpongeBob house. Do you guys watch the? Hold on. He said my head looks like the top of this SpongeBob's house, like the pineapple. That's pretty funny. So, do you guys watch the UFC? There's a big card tomorrow. I watched the UFC. Charles
I fell off, but I got to get back into it. Like I've seen a lot of Adesanya highlights, and it's been boosting. Also, seeing the story about the lightweight champion losing his belt.
Yeah.
You know, we got to talk about that, but put me on what's happening tomorrow.
So
I don't watch it. I'm not. I like to play sports.
So tomorrow, Charles
I feel you. I would say definitely get into it. UFC is mad entertaining, bro. Heavy on the entertainment.
Charles and Overeem fights Justin Gaethje.
You said Overeem?
Yeah.
Allison? Oh yeah.
He fights Gaethje, but he just missed weight, and so he missed weight, so he got stripped for his belt. And so I don't know what happens to the belt. They one of my boys are saying that that the scales were different. Like it was 2 different scales, and freaking one of them said that he was there in weight, and then the other one said that he wasn't. And then it was like it's really, really crazy though. I wish he did keep his belt because he was gonna beat the bricks off of Gaethje anyway. Gaethje's not beating him.
Right.
He's not beating him. Because if Dustin Poirier couldn't beat him, what the hell you think Justin Gaethje is the answer?
I think so. I'm gonna be honest. I think so.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. You see.
What am I confused?
I'm a little stuck here.
Justin Gaethje kind of fights the same way, like as Dustin Poirier. He's kind of like a stand-up guy, knockout power. Charles Overeem just took a lot of punches from Poirier, and he was eating them punches, eating them. Eating a lot of punches, and that like, and that's like an interesting. That's like sad, because he's gonna get that belt back anyway. I don't see anybody beating him in that division. That's like probably my best answer to it.
Okay.
My boy Luke said.
I just hope somebody gets uppercutted.
The backstage scales said that all the fighters were on weight, but the scale where the press was said that he was underweight. No, overweight. That's a little crazy then.
That's interesting. I feel like if that's already public knowledge like that, they may already be trying to do a recount. You know, at least that's what I'm hoping, because like they shouldn't have just vacated the title. Like I can understand them postponing the fight, but to vacate the title like that was kind of like not extreme, but definitely excessive. You know, it was like, matter of fact, let me take that back. I understand they do have strict weight laws and weight rules. You know, you got to make the cut when it's time to make the cut. But like, if the scales in the back where the fighters are already like at, the ones that we did before the press say that I'm on weight, there couldn't be this sudden change like that, bro. I didn't go fucking eat a Twinkie, and now I'm like 3 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Like I didn't eat a whole Thanksgiving meal within that time frame.
Within that time frame, bro.
Because that's impossible. Oh, let's just say like Well, what is lightweight? Like what? 150, 155 or something like that? I think that is. I think that's
I think
155.
150 is the max, yeah, and then it goes into welter.
I think like it's like 155, I believe. So
Yeah,
let's
like
just say
136, 155.
let,
Mhm.
let's say the one backstage says that I'm exactly 155, then the one over there says I'm 157. Hey, listen, I don't know how that's possible.
Mm.
Like I didn't gain 2 pounds. I just walked. First off, I just drunk. Yeah, I knew it was 155. Let's just say I just get like a drink of water. Oh yeah, you're over 3 pounds.
What?
How is that possible?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
How is that possible or something? And him getting vacated for the belt, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I think Data and them is like stupid on that part.
Yeah, they're kind of extreme on that one.
You should never. If that's the case, if he's overweight, then don't make it a title fight. Just make it a regular fight. Just let him keep the belt, and then just make it a regular fight.
I feel you on that, but would it be fair to the challenger to like not make it a non-title fight after that?
I mean,
because you missed weight. I mean, if they clear it up and it wasn't on him that they missed weight,
right.
You know, I would be like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. But if he did, go ahead, Michael.
I mean, that's like, all right, yo, yeah, we don't want to put a guy in position to lose because the guy just showed up overweight. Like, so it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sit here and wait till somebody messes up. And then one of my boys said that they're trying to get Conor to come back. Conor's not coming. If Conor comes back, Conor's not fighting for that belt. Conor comes back after breaking his leg. He said he's gonna beat Justin, but lose the. Yeah.
I feel like if Conor wanted to, he would be competitive for it. But yeah, that leg injury definitely humbled him. And that was around the same time I stopped. Because when I heard about it, it was like, oh, shit. You know, I mean, I seen him get beat by Khabib and whatnot. But the leg, it was like...
Yeah. Like, it's just one of those... It's one of those things where it's kind of like his drive for it is a little different.
A little gone now, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of money. One of those things where
true, he did make a lot. Yeah, he made serious bank, bro. Especially after that fight with Mayweather.
Yeah. Okay. After that Floyd fight, the drive for it is really different. But
all right, be it that the conversation is amazing. I have no idea about UFC besides, you pick somebody up, slam them to the floor, beat the bricks off of them. That's all I know.
It's an interesting thing.
I'm gonna say,
you know what? Yeah,
but now that y'all speaking about it so passionately, I might have to check it out a couple.
Yeah, definitely.
Get my research on it real quick.
It's like
all right.
It'll be a good. It's a good time to get into it now. Where like now and like
with so much competition, bro. Yo. Go ahead,
you want to talk about like now I feel like UFC fighters now fight better than what it was back in the day. Back in the day, you had guys that
you had mismatched weight.
Yeah. You had a lot.
Wasn't there like a mixed martial arts or like pseudo UFC before UFC where like they had karate, they had like boxing. All these like the practitioners, not like
it was pretty much like
mixed martial arts. It was like
that's how
everyone had a specific like move, and y'all just threw them together.
That's pretty much like how the early days of the UFC were. They would have like a judo expert against like a brawler type character, but the judo expert would come in full gi instead of wearing UFC shorts.
Yeah, right. But now in the UFC you got to be like kind of like an all around fighter.
All around fighter.
You got to be. You got to be able to be good standing up, good in a clinch, good on the floor. You got to be good on everything now, rather than like a couple years ago there was guys like that was only known for knocking people out. You still have guys like that now. You still do. They normally struggle against guys who are all around fighters where they're kind of good in every area. Where like it's like for example, let's just say like I'm a basketball player and I only know how to use my right hand. Which is me in real life. I only know how to use my right hand. But if I play against somebody,
that's bad.
Yeah, it is very, very bad. But if I play against somebody that knows that's ambidextrous, that know how to use both hands, they probably have more of a chance to beat me.
OD, yeah, because if
I
they
mean,
play on your
you
weaker
can
side,
learn
it's gonna
it,
be
but
tough to defend.
Yeah, I could learn.
You
I
know
could
what I
learn how to
mean?
use
you
my
could
left.
learn it. I learned it. I'm right-handed. I could dribble with my left. I
Yeah,
mean, I can't do it perfectly, but
I can dribble with my left. I can't lay up the ball with my left.
I
Right.
can do.
You're unique with
Just practice, bro.
with the UFC subject pretty much. It's
Right.
like with the Rocket League and the competition thing. UFC and mixed martial arts like became so honed throughout the years that it's like your stand-up boxing and kicking, your stand-up kickboxing game, your ground Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and your clinch game. Like
You have to
those are
have
the
all three.
exactly. Those are the three vital points. And like because the competition was so fierce and like high level, everybody had to start being technical in all aspects just to even compete. And that's where the excitement comes in because now you have all these technical fighters that can mix and match on the fly. That like, let's say we got a guy that's usually known for a striker. Suddenly he got you in a ground tackle. Now it's a ground game. You didn't even know his ground and pound game was like that.
Yeah.
And now it's a mismatch. But I mean, just like what Trey said, there's brawlers, there's the wrestler types. You got your DC versus your John Jones is a good example. That happened like way back.
Yeah, but that was like before. That was like almost the best fight before they was like Conor and Khabib. DC and John Jones was like the best rivalry.
Yeah, that was the series, bro.
That was like
you had to be there.
That was like a guy who was known. He was undefeated as a heavyweight, and then you got the guy who's undefeated in the light heavyweight division, who's never lost against anybody in a division, fighting each other, and they both don't like each other. Where it's like to the point where it's like, yo, DC's never been taken down to the floor. John Jones takes him down, took him down 3 times in that fight, and it was like, whoa, all right, yo, John. Niggas was like, yo, John, I didn't know you could. Yo, your wrestling's like that, yo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's taking him down to the floor. He's beating him. He's beating him in every area. It's like one of those things. It's like when now it's like every fighter has to be great. Like every fighter has to, I got knockout power.
Let me ask you a question then, because when it comes to this in our previous conversation, what do you think the reason? What do you think the reason is for like the competitors and for people that are in the UFC to continue going after being defeated? Because it's scientifically proven that like when an individual, especially a human male, when we experience defeat, physically we start to like show properties of the defeated, shoulders slumped, head, most of the time down, so what do you think that makes, UFC, fighters different from us for the vast majority of people that do have defeats and don't change?
That right there is what separates the people who are in the ring versus the ones who aren't. It's like, if I'm training every day, like this is what I want. You feel me? Like if I want to be in that octagon, I want to be the winner. I want that belt. More than breathing. This is what I'm doing every single day, and I lose. Yes, it's gonna be crushing, but at the end of the day, my spirit ain't gonna be defeated.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like CM Punk, because like he was done after that first fight. But like in general, it's like, all right, winning and losses are gonna happen. Ain't nobody gonna be in the UFC like undefeated. I mean, there are some examples. Obviously, we just talked about.
You got guys like Khabib. You got guys that never lost. You got John Jones that never lost.
You got John Jones that never lost. You got Conor for a while before he ended up losing.
Yeah.
But it's like, aside from that, like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna get back up, or you're not gonna be in the UFC.
You
know what I mean?
And it's your job. You live to fight another day every day.
Exactly.
It's more of like, yeah, I lost, but like I lost to a guy who's better than me in certain areas, but I know I'm gonna go back, watch the film. I'm gonna have the more drive to actually be better this next fight. Usually guys do have that.
I would also throw in too, going from our other conversation, it's exactly why it's very important to train your mental as well as your physical. They have a higher level of mental fortitude. And I'm not just talking, I can take a punch. I can take being knocked out, being publicly ridiculed for months, and still have the urge to want to go fight again. Because if I win, all that is clips. I don't give a fuck who's talking down on me because I got the win at that point. You know,
you updating your resume every time you get
in. That's fire. That's fire. I like that.
Every time you get in there, you're updating your resume. So like, yeah, you could be a guy who got knocked out maybe 2 times. You know, the last couple times you fought, and then the next thing you know, you hit like you hit in a row, then you won like 5 in a row, and you're back in the title. You might be in like in a title talk even
right.
After that.
So updating your resume. My fault. Updating your resume every time you do something. Every time you achieve something, you go to work, you take this day off, you do this, you updating your resume. So update your resume to something actually productive. Yeah. And it actually gets you somewhere.
Right.
That's a fire way to think about it. Yo, Trayvon, I appreciate you, man. Really I appreciate you. That was dope.
You're like
another.
Go ahead. No.
But word. I was gonna make it quick. Another way you could throw it in unique too is that UFC has a ranking system. It's like there'll be unranked fighters, and then there'll be the top 15. And it's like you want to make rank because when you're in the second place spot, you're a contender for the title shot. Yeah. You know, and you want, of course, you want that title. That's why we're all here at the end of the day for that title, for the big bucks, for the fucking fans to be in here saying my name. You know,
around the world.
And that is a feeling shared across everybody that is signed here.
Yeah.
So in order for myself to even like sit here with all these people, I gotta have the drive of a fucking demon. You know,
to be better than this guy every day. Like, you know what? I'm better than this guy. I'm better than him.
Like number one with my name on it doesn't come light. There's a lot of weight behind it because underneath me is everybody trying to beat my ass. You know, you can look at it like a real life video game. It's like, yo, I'm at the top, but then there's everybody else at the bottom climbing up that I have to worry about.
Yeah.
So even when I'm at the top, they can't slack because it's like you slack, you lose.
Yeah.
You know, but if you on it,
best believe ain't no one gonna get past me.
It's like you know what it's really like. It's like King of the Hill. It's like King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like
perfect.
It's like King of the Hill. It's like hey, listen, I'm the guy at this mountain. Come on, guys. Let's see. You know,
like who's gonna be the first one to get knocked down?
Who's gonna be the guy to knock me down?
Who's gonna be that guy? Facts.
Who wants to take this punishment of me being this all around fighter? Where like now, like a guy like Usman, right? For example, Usman was mostly known as a wrestler, really wrestling impeccable. Take you down to the floor all deep. He's pound and pound. He's gonna get you to that ground. He's gonna beat you up. Now he got his hands up. He kind of got more. He can knock you out with his hands now, and he can also still wrestle. And he still has that great background in that wrestling. He can always fall back on it, even if the stand up is not working for him that night. So it's like it's like always having something. You know, you keep on adding to it. You keep on adding to it. Like you're like, you know, it's like in anything. It's like if you only. It's like in basketball. If you're only known as a jump shooter, don't you want to get your game to be inside? Don't you want to do something else around that? Oh, you know what?
Or expand that repertoire.
Yeah, like, oh, I only know how to shoot mid ranges. Cool. Why don't you step back a little bit and start hitting those threes? Start hitting, you know, start going inside, you know, doing those things. If you can't do certain things, sometimes you're not going to make it.
But continuing on the UFC actually, because I did see another piece of news that I'm jump hyping. This has been one of my fighters for a minute. My nigga Nate Diaz is actually about to have his last fight, like dead ass.
Is it retirement fight?
Yeah, I heard his fight coming up against not Kazev. I don't even know what to say his name.
The Russian the Russian homie, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I was just hyped to see Nate Diaz on the title. I'm like, yo, bro, I haven't seen this in a minute. But my nigga Nate's still here, you know, Stockton. You feel me? Like playing. But anyways, it's shit like that. Like for me specifically, to you, Unique, Nate Diaz is a fighter. He's extremely prideful. Like he's prideful amongst the prideful.
Yeah.
You know, like in the ring, he's slapping you in the face, bro. He's throwing the fuck you. You know, he's Stockton.
Yeah. Stockton. He's throwing. Him and his brother just Stockton, motherfucker. Stockton, like just slopping, like his brother his brother fought Robbie. He fought Robbie Lord.
He fought Robbie Lawler.
And Robbie Lord at the time was the baddest dude in the world, like the baddest dude in the world. You didn't want to fuck with him. As soon as he got in the octagon, he slaps him, hits him the middle finger. He's like stalked him, motherfucker, stalked him, like kept on saying it and just kept on saying it the whole fight. And it was fucking with Robbie. It was fucking with Robbie. Like, yo, what's wrong with him? Like, he's like, yo, what's wrong with him? Like, but it ended up. I think Nick ended up winning that fight. I think he ended up beating Robbie Lawler at that time.
I think so too. I think it was the decision, if I'm not mistaken.
The brother was the one that beat Conor. Nate beat
Conor. That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. Yeah. I remember that. See, another thing too, unique I like about the Diaz brothers, especially Nate, they have a lot of heart. It's like it goes into the mental fortitude that I was talking about. Nate and them, they will get fucked up, bro. But also because Nate has some scarring on his above his eye. When he gets
makes it easier.
He's leaking. Bro, like face is bloodied up, you're tired, you're exhausted, and like you still have another 10 minutes worth of fighting to go. You know, like it takes a different level to like even still want to stand at that point. Yeah. You know, and they do that a lot. Like a lot of their fights be going to decisions or a knockout, and like it's great to see. Like honestly, word, it's like with league. Like if you see a fight one time from start to finish, you like, yo. You know, or like if you see some like one high kick to the neck, you're like, oh, yo, my nigga just got fucking checked. Like, I'm telling you, bro, it's interesting. You're gonna love it.
Some of these guys got great drive. Like even when they like lose around, you could tell like when they lose around, some of them don't get even like their psyche is like, yo, bro, I lost that round. Cool. Next round coming. You know, it's the same thing in like boxing, but I feel like in the UFC, I think storylines like really, really like and in the UFC, storylines are really, really great. I think boxing doesn't really have that great storylines because a lot of the top guys in boxing are not fighting each other. A lot of the top guys are like fighting guys that are unknown. They're not fighting everybody. They're not fighting those top guys.
So I mean, I think boxing has its own issues entirely. I think separate from UFC. I think the introduction with the woke culture, the Gen Zs, the millennials that are popping into this, and I say not in its entirety, but I'm saying with this generation, you have popular influencers deciding that they want to box, NBA players that thinking that they want to box. I'm specifically saying Logan Paul. Like Logan Paul.
Yeah, he is making.
I give him some credit that he is putting in the work. I can see that he's getting in the coaches, he's practicing, so on and so forth. But I personally do not know, because I only know what's being headlines when it comes to type of sports. But I don't know if is he getting in the league? Is he getting into the
boxing? He hasn't.
The boxing. I don't think he has his debut match.
No. He has. He
fought Mayweather as his debut.
He's been fighting guys that are like UFC fighters.
Oh, of course he lost.
He's fighting UFC guys. He's not fighting guys that are like official boxers.
With the basketball player, I forgot who it was.
It was Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson, yeah, he got knocked out.
That was a disappointment of the world.
Disappointment, sadness.
Because he was saying he was doing it for the culture. He was wilding, and you end up getting knocked out.
The culture failed. The culture failed. Then he failed the culture, and the culture failed.
You end up getting knocked out. That's not good. But like Jake's thing is like,
say LeBron, you got to make the shot. When you say you do it for the culture, you got to do it for the culture. You got to win.
Jake and the thing is, well, like Jake and Logan, it's not like saying like, oh, they're putting a bad spot on boxing. They're like saying like, hey, listen, like we wanna get into real boxing, but some of these real guys are not like they have to fight like a real boxer. They have to fight guys like they have to find like a guy who has like let's say a guy who has like 30, 20 matches under his belt that's been in the game for a minute. In boxing, you have to fight somebody like that. You can't just fight a guy in the UFC who only knows anything. Kicking, taking people down to the floor. He's not really known as a striker. And he
And even if you are known as a striker, like it's different.
It's a lot.
It's similar, but it's different striking
because
than boxing.
You're using net, you're using knees,
You're right. You're using all.
You're using everything.
You're using everything. You're not just using this. You're not using just
right.
all that. You're using a lot of like. So then you have
well,
to get out of that.
That was a little
and
close.
Then, well, I'm just. It was just.
I understand. That was a little close. I mean, I need to space it out.
Word from my.
I know.
Opinion, I feel like the Logan brothers, honestly, they should just get into the octagon.
I don't think so.
In general, I feel like a lot of people are shifting over from boxing to UFC, not just the fighters, but the audience.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's 10 times as much shit happening.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, this is the sweet science. It's beautiful. And you see somebody with nice, clean footwork, dodging and weaving. That's amazing. You know, I won't downplay boxing. But like, when I go look at a UFC match, it's like, it can go any which way. You can get an elbow to the temple and you're gone. You know, but just the shock of seeing him get that elbow is like, Jesus Christ, bro, you know, or like a good example for you since like, if you're new to UFC, you probably haven't seen a lot of this shit. Anderson Silva one time, he went up for a leg check and was it Ando? It was Ando.
Yeah, it was.
And his leg wrapped around the other guy's leg, bro.
Yeah, his leg wasn't strong enough, so it snapped and it went wiggled.
But
he kicked him wrong. He kicked him like wrong, like
this is his leg curved around it like this.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You feel me? Shocking. I mean, obviously, I don't watch UFC just for some crazy shit like that to happen, but it's like there's a lot more. You know, as for the Logan brothers, yes, I feel like they should because the way their egos are going, it's like, bro,
they need to be checked. Basically, you're telling everyone they need to be checked.
Not even just checked; it's just use your whole body. Pretty much. I'm not down playing boxers because I do like that focus on your hands. But it's like, bro, you're telling McGregor and them to go into the boxing. Why don't you go over there?
Because
your whole body.
Because this is the thing though. Because they're not. I think Logan actually wrestled like. I think Logan used to wrestle as like a.
You used to wrestle, bro. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Then there's no excuse. There's pretty much no excuse.
I think Logan truthfully. I think Logan truthfully should go to the WWE. I think he should go to the WWE.
He'd be the WWE wrestler.
Yeah, because he was in wrestle. Look at his WrestleMania. You know, the next time look at his WrestleMania match. There. He was actually like, yo, it was looking like he actually could really do it. Yes. He looked like you heard that, right? You heard that, right?
I understand. It happens. It happens. Don't worry about it.
Facts. I'm sorry. It was just surprising.
Family first.
It was all that. But at the same token, it's not so bad.
Right.
He could do something like that. He could do like wrestling. He could do something like that, like a really wrestling.
I'm not an expert on it.
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see Logan in an octagon, and I don't want to see Jake in an octagon because like they first off you're gonna tell them
we got CM Punk in the octagon. Yes. I'm not hearing no excuses. They can train for the octagon, bro. No, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
All right, so the thing is,
forget him. Versus Mickey Gall, bro. Come on, let's talk about it.
The thing is, you don't want to go into a situation where Jake, let's say Jake and Connor fights right in the octagon. Let's just say that.
Right.
Connor's gonna start doing things that he normally doesn't do. He's gonna start doing things like he's gonna be throwing extremely leg kicks, taking him down to the floor, punching him a lot, maybe even put him in a submission. And Connor doesn't submit people, so he may do things like that. He may try things differently, and they don't understand. Like you can practice all you want about taking like a leg kick, taking a head kick, any of those things, but like. You're gonna tell me when it's actually happening, like when you're actually in the octagon, and it's like scary, like bro, look what happens. Like CM Punk, CM Punk fights CM Punk for Mickey Gall, right? He fights him, right? And the first thing Mickey Gall did was
take him ground tackle.
Took him to the ground, and he didn't let him get back up, and he submitted him. Embarrassing. It was
embarrassing. It was in like 30,
embarrassing, but it's humbling because he probably went in there thinking that he can hang with the rest of them. Now he knows he gotta get right back into the training session and get right back into it.
He thought it was Brock Lesnar.
My counter argument to say what CM Punk as well as the Logan brothers as well as CM Punk should have did was go to a smaller league. They could have went to like a Bellator. They could have did the amateurs, built up the experience, and then push for the high stakes. Because they're not just UFC just cause. Like the people in here know how to fuck you up. So to just out the gate, I want a UFC fighter.
And you
be my guest, bro. Be my guest.
Be my guest, yo. It'd be quick cash grab, real quick.
You got him.
And CM Punk, and at least with like Brock Lesnar, where Brock Lesnar went to the UFC, at least Brock Lesnar had a background of he's a wrestler. He was an Olympic wrestler. He was a wrestler in college, and he really can do that. And when he got to the UFC, he was really slamming, putting those big guys on the floor, knocking them out. He was doing a lot of stuff like that, and he got the UFC belt. Where like CM Punk, you have no background in pro wrestling. You're just a dude in the WWE.
So basically, what you're telling him is, you gotta go through the steps. You gotta go through the steps, go through the ring. Don't be coming up in the house and thinking that you could do something.
Yeah.
All right.